Amongst this field of cows and coyotes, the land you see before you is going to be the future site of a brand new theme park that could change the entire landscape of themed entertainment. It sits in Frisco, Texas, a prospering and growing city in North Texas that has seen tremendous growth in population and young families. Universal Parks and Resorts took notice of this, and they want to plant their own flag on this field you see behind me, because they envision a future of theme parks not for thrill seekers, but rather a regional park built for young families. It was only a matter of time before Disney or Universal built their own park in Texas, and this new plan could change the overall outlook on the future of building new regional parks across the country. On January 11, 2023, the City of Frisco and Universal announced their plans for the unnamed Universal Studios Frisco, set to debut at an unknown time. Since the opening of Islands of Adventure, this is the first time since 1999 that Disney or Universal would open a new theme park in the United States. However, take your presumptions you might have about this park and throw it out the window. Sitting on 97 acres, Universal Studios Frisco is touted as being a quarter of the size of Universal Studios Orlando. The park itself is planned to be roughly 40 acres, with some land left over for future expansions. Looking at this concept drawing, you can also see the proposed 300-room hotel they have planned for the resort. I personally wouldn't investigate too much into this initial sketch, as it's just an estimate of what this park could look like. However, it does reiterate their proposal of a park for young families. There's outdoor interactive elements, kiddie rides, shops and restaurants, as well as buildings for potential meet and greets. They stress that this park is not for thrill seekers and instead have a target audience of 3 to 9-year-olds along with their caretakers. In a press release by Universal Parks and Resorts, they stated that their new park concept, set in a lush green landscape and featuring immersive themed lands, celebrates Universal's iconic brand of entertainment, humor, and innovation, and brings to life its beloved characters and stories in ways that will wow even the youngest theme park goers. I think it's safe to say that iconic theme park attractions like Velocicoaster, Incredible Hulk Coaster, and Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure may not be on the menu. However, don't let that lower your expectations for themed entertainment. Universal states that although smaller in size, it will still carry the same quality as Universal's other larger resort destinations. This makes me think that we could still see immersive lands you would see at Islands of Adventure, like Camp Jurassic or Seuss Landing. Both of these areas cater perfectly for their target audience, and I could see the same level of detail brought over here to Frisco. In a Facebook update a week after the initial announcement, Frisco Mayor Jeff Cheney announced what the park was and wasn't. He claims that this park is not for teenagers, with no late night hours, no big buildings with the hotel being 4 to 5 stories itself, no dark rides, no fireworks, and no roller coasters above 50 feet. The city also announced strict height restrictions for their rides and attractions. This is to prevent Universal from pulling a bait and switch, and instead building a thrill park targeting older audiences. As I've said numerous times so far, I'd like to stress that this is a regional park not aimed to compete with the resorts on both coasts, but to compete with parks down the road. Along with other DFW destinations, Six Flags Over Texas and Great Wolf Lodge near Arlington will face the most competition. If you'd like a visual aid and representation of the size and scope of the park, look no further than Sesame Place in Langhorne, Pennsylvania. This park has a small footprint, features numerous intellectual properties, is aimed for children ages 3 to 10, and contains numerous attractions and meet and greets. Replace the Sesame Street characters with other IPs like Shrek, Trolls, How to Train Your Dragon, Minions, or Harry Potter, and you might see a strong resemblance, but with much greater detail and theming. Also, here's a fun fact. Dallas-Fort Worth had their own Sesame Place that opened in 1982. That park failed to meet expectations and closed 2 years later in 1984. Hopefully, Universal Studios Frisco will not meet that same fate. As of this recording, the city has not voted for approval of its brand new theme park concept. However, I think it will pass, especially with the recent additions of the Dallas Cowboys Star Complex, as well as the PGA Resort 1 mile up the road. Universal chose Frisco for a reason. In the next decade, DFW is supposed to pass the Chicago Metro as the 3rd largest in the country. Furthermore, Freakonomics host Stephen Dubner visited Frisco and asked himself, is Frisco nothing more than a suburb on steroids, or is it the future of the American city? Although this is a regional park, I think young families outside of Texas should take notice, because Universal hinted that this will be the first of many regional parks they have planned across the country. If this park succeeds, perhaps you'll see a Universal park come to your hometown.